is Meleah with Inner Perfect, and I wanted to do a quick little tarot reading for everyone here on this beautiful Tuesday. We will be going live this Wednesday, tomorrow. We'll be going live tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and I'll be doing the weekly energy update. We'll be talking about the full moon and also other energies that are coming down the cosmic pipeline. And I typically have been doing intuitive card pulls as well. So unless that just is not inspired tomorrow, I assume we'll be doing those too. But I wanted to do a card reading for the collective for today, Tuesday, the 21st of May. And if you don't catch this reading, today, it doesn't mean that this is a lost opportunity. I feel that whenever you come across this video, hopefully there is information in here in this reading that is relevant, pertinent, and helpful for you. So, what collective message is waiting to come through for everyone today? Just a little bit more of a shuffle, and then we will get right into it. God, I got my nails done, and I can't do anything. Apparently, I can't shuffle. I know I can't type. All right. Here we go. So we have an Ace of Cups. I'm going to pull 3. We have 6 of Cups. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Oh, I'm going to pull one more. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So, let's see. Cups and Pentacles. So, Ace of Cups, cups being our cup being full, our sense of fulfillment, our sense of emotional satisfaction, can be relationships, connections, love, just kind of general, well-being in our emotional self, which of course affects our energy field and affects everything in our life, right? But the Ace is the beginning. This is a fresh start. This is a chance for perhaps something completely different or of like renewal, but it's like an upgrade. That's what I'm getting. It's kind of like version whatever it is, like version 2.0. So this is perhaps kind of like you might be seeing something coming up in your life that you're like, I have experienced something like this, or a situation, person, whatever it is, that's kind of reminiscent of this, but it feels different. I'm different, right? You're different. For each moment that passes, we have that evolution and growth and change that does, constantly kind of propel us forward in our lives. But I feel like this is kind of a significant shift or change. And so I feel like part of the wisdom of this card and part of the information that's kind of, downloading and flowing through is that you are looking, viewing, observing, experiencing your life through fresh eyes with a new perspective, because you are new. And it doesn't mean that the old version of you was bad or, undesirable. Maybe it was, right? Sometimes we can have major evolutionary changes or shifts, but it's just to be in that acknowledgement of who you are and where you are at this very moment, and know that you don't have to carry, emotional baggage into this new version of who you are. You also can't assume that people are going to be the same, interacting with you the same, having the same thoughts, opinions, viewpoints as maybe they did in the past. Now, if this was a conversation that you had like yesterday with somebody, and then, you're kind of building on that, assumption that they still feel the same way, it could be likely, right? It was just a conversation yesterday. But if there has been any kind of like, you feel a significant shift, things feel different, especially things might feel lighter or clearer or more vibrant, then that would be indicating that you have made an energetic shift, which can happen momentarily. Sometimes it kind of takes a while for all the little, kinks to get worked out. But do a check-in maybe, if it is someone, maybe not just from yesterday, but maybe from, recent past or kind of past, or like a situation is showing back up, and really get a check-in before you go into immediate reaction response mode of like your old viewpoint or your old experience with that. Do a personal check-in with yourself and see what fresh eyes tell you about the situation or the opportunity or the person, right? So yeah, fresh start. And in that fresh start, in that Ace of Cups, there is so much potential, right? It's just like the world is your oyster and anything is possible. And so sometimes when we are getting like a revisit of something in the past, it brings up things that we maybe learned, from that lesson or that interaction, or maybe that still need to be healed. And it might be our natural response to go like to slip into like an old pattern, an old way of thinking, an old way of reacting. But if that's not who you are now, and I feel for a lot of you, there have been some major shifts, like positive, good growth changes. Then kind of check yourself before you somehow slip back into an old pattern that you have actively been rewiring your brain to see, feel, respond in a different way, or something that has kind of almost just beautifully, miraculously opened, flowered, changed, that this resurgence and kind of the old way of reacting versus really how you feel called to react now is just like a reminder, like, hey, you have grown. Hey, you have changed. Okay. So 6 of Cups. This is such a sweet card. In the 6 of Cups, we have 4 cups in the front here. They all have flowers in them. We have like two, they look like 2 children. One, the older one or larger one is handing the cup to the smaller child. And then we have this cup here. So there are 1, 2, and then 4 is 6 cups. And there is, it could be a castle or like a village in the background. Look at this person right there. There's steps, and this person is walking towards the village or the castle behind them. But this is just like there's so much balance in this card. There is so much of a there is a giving and then also receiving. And I feel that this card is speaking to how energy works. How energy works is that when we give, and it is is from a place of without manipulation or agenda, when there is that kind of unconditional love, that giving, then the gift, regardless how it is received, if it is received, or whatever, it's really the act of giving, of having that energy flow out from you, right? Without then having an expectation of what kind of response you're going to get, what kind of reaction you're going to get, or I'm only giving this freely if, there's XYZ condition, as far as the recipient goes. And it is difficult to be in our human, forms, selves, to be just completely 100% all the time capable of unconditional love, unconditional giving. We see cause and effect, right? We see ebb and flow, and even if our intentions are mostly pure, and it is out of love or positivity or healing or whatever, there's so much, even if it's just like way, under the surface, there is a little bit of expectation, right? But when we are able to kind of align with what love or that higher vibration is in the sense of the universe or source, when we're able to kind of align with that and let that course through us, then it's like we can be a conduit for that unconditional love, and it washes through us, which is beautiful and rewarding and amazing. And then we can also, let that flow through us to other people. And then whatever anyone else chooses to do with that is their prerogative. it's their choice, right? Because we do have free will. So maybe play with that idea, and you might just play with it and seeing or observing that just in your environment with interactions with other people, maybe vicariously seeing, examples of that out in the world, or it could be a book or a movie or, whatever it is, right? It could be with your pets, but see how you can kind of relax into that, to kind of integrate this energy of kind of that unconditional flowing and giving, right? And then, the other side of this card, because, it is a balance card, 6 is an even number, then the other part of the message is to allow yourself to be receiving of kindness, of compliments, of love, of anything that you may or may not think that you are deserving of, right? So many people who are like, you would say, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need anybody, or I've had to, blaze my own trail. Those kinds of people, and I can say that I might be that kind of person. We get our independence and our strength from having to get things done on our own, right? Maybe these are patterns that we learned when we were little, or in kind of fundamental or foundational relationships or interactions, environments that we were in. It could be school, it could be just like friends groups. Of course, family is very important in kind of molding like how we see the world and how we interact with the world, especially when we're younger. Or it could be maybe just things, patterns, ideas that were learned in relationships, that you chose as a teenager, as an adult. But when we're independent, that independence, is good to have, right? I'm glad that I am a strong, independent woman, right? But so many times, I have caught myself, and it's something that I'm really aware of now, and so I try to not do it. But in the past, if someone would ask me, hey, do you need help with that? Or is there anything I can do? Or would you like a drink of water? I'd be like, oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you. And yeah, maybe I was fine. Maybe I could do it, or I was okay without a drink of water or whatever. But it was like my natural response was just to say, oh, no, I've got this. Thank you. And it wasn't like I was offended that they, asked me if I needed help or wanted to offer help or drink of water or whatever it is. It's not that I was offended or felt like they were, telling me I was needy or anything like that. But my natural response, before I even paused, thought about it, processed, like, do I need help? Would I appreciate that? Am I a little thirsty? Was just always like, oh no, I've got this. Thank you. Right. And so I know that there are so many experiences in my past where it would have actually been really helpful to have a little bit of help. Even if it's like, I got one bag of groceries, you got the other, but I was like, no, I've got this. And so I have been retraining myself, and I do try to have it more in my awareness that if someone asks me, or offers, help, ask me if I need help, offers help, that I just pause for a minute and I go, okay, instead of like the natural thing that just flows out of my mouth before I've even thought about it, let me think about it for like 2 seconds, and then from exactly where I'm at now, what my response is, right? And sometimes it's like, no, I really have this, but thank you so much for offering, or sometimes it's like, yeah, actually that would be great for a drink of water. I should be drinking more water and hydrating myself. With this card, the beautiful harmony of this card is, like we talked about, a little bit ago, was being in the energy of that unconditional love without expectation of like, how that flowing, that gift or that love, whatever it is, would be received, and then like how somebody else is going to react. It's just like being in that state of flowing. But then also, being the other person that when you are able to receive, that is a beautiful thing too. And it's like you have to kind of like relax into either side of that. And then when it's a friendship, it's a relationship, it's a, it could be like a business partnership or like kind of work thing too. I mean, any aspect where it's not just you doing it, there's like two people or two parties or two teams or whatever involved. That being able to gracefully give, and be in that flow, and then also being able to be receiving. And this could be like advice, it could be help, it could be constructive criticism, it could be all kinds of things, right? But when we're able to kind of find those cohesive connections and we're able to relax in whatever energy we need to be in, giving or receiving, then it's like we fully empower ourselves for to be receiving of maybe what the universe, the divine, has wanted to offer and flow through another person or a situation. And then we also like by being receptive, if someone is giving you something, and this is like obviously things that are of a loving vibration, right? Not if someone's giving you crap, then you have boundaries. But to be receiving is sometimes a gift to the other person who's giving, because maybe that's their love language. Maybe that's something that they felt inspired, compelled to do, right? So if you're like block it, it's almost like you're blocking it for yourself, but you're also blocking the flow of that opportunity for that other person who's the giver. So so I feel like that is the message of the Six of Cups that is flowing through today. Now we have two Pentacles cards. We have the Page, and then we have the King. Pentacles are an Earth card, an Earth suit. Pentacles have to do with our earthly abundance, our kind of how energy is embodied in our health, our vitality, and it's not just the physical body, but it's like our finances, our home, our foundational anchoring into this earth energy. So the Page is, it can be a kind of like a youthful energy. I mean, it's strong. It's not like a little baby, but it's a strong, young man who is like offering up this pentacle. This is an energy that is not jaded. So this to me also has it's not an ace, but it has like kind of a fresh start, or like a new perspective. This kind of like excited, and this just like novel, and it's like, inspired. Yeah, I was going to say like, what, it doesn't matter what happened in the past. Like it does, but this is kind of an energy of like, not necessarily like that you don't have past experiences, but you're looking at things just like excited, inspired in the moment. And you're like, look at this, look at all of this potential. Look at this huge pentacle that I have, this disc, this shield, and look at what an amazing opportunity this is. And then the King of Pentacles is like embodied, like, look at all this stuff he has around him. He has a huge pentacle. He has, he's sitting on his throne. There are all of these amazing things around him. He's just kind of relaxed and regal on his throne. There's a big castle in the background. And there are like, looks like, grapes, like on his robe. This is a very abundant, very fertile card. And so to me, this is saying that, number one, it is never too late to like start something new, because it could be, an opportunity or a situation that has a lot of abundance potential in it, moving into kind of having everything that you ever needed or wanted. So this could be like a business or a job opportunity. This could be maybe being more like having like a fresh lens on your possessions, what you have, and saying, wow, I got kind of so used to everything, or I've been, kind of running this scarcity program for years. Like, oh my gosh, I'm actually like doing kind of okay, and maybe I have more than I need. So there's kind of like if you kind of shift the energy around a little bit, maybe like you free up a little bit of cash and then you do something really cool with that, to kind of grow or build your prosperity, long-term prosperity. And when we say prosperity and we say abundance, like, yes, like dollar signs, it's got all of that kind of wrapped up in it. Like that's kind of probably where our brain goes. Abundance is just really a lot of something, and to be prosperous and to be abundant. I really like to translate that as you have everything that you need, and so much that you are able to be healthy, wealthy, and wise yourself, take care of others. And I don't mean like enabling others. I mean like you have enough to just like, yeah, I can share, or you're younger, you're still working on stuff, you're still figuring out the ropes, but here's this, maybe this can help a little bit. And so to me, it's like, having our food, our pantry stocked, but not like hoarder way, but like, okay, I do have what I need if I couldn't go to the grocery store for a couple of weeks. And then you go outside and you look and you say, but and my tomatoes are coming up and I'm going to have cucumbers and I'm going to have some potatoes and I'm going to have some carrots, that are growing, and you see the growth and you know that the work that you've put in is helping, that's going to provide for you in the future. And it's not just like you were growing like Twinkies outside or, Reese cups. It's like, this is stuff that's actually going to be feeding you, and it's you've pulled it out of the ground and it's alive and it's so good for you. So it's like quality over quantity for sure when it comes to your surroundings, your food, your, I want to say stockpile, but it's kind of like if you are stockpiling things, make sure it has a use. Make sure it is quality, right? If you can. And because there's no sense in having just like a bunch of stuff around you that really doesn't serve a purpose, or is broken, or is outgrown, or it's just full of empty calories, right? So yes, I mean, like, it's like the example is like to have honey, to have a bucket of honey or a quart jar of honey is probably more valuable than just, definitely more valuable than processed beet sugar. I mean, both of them are like, will give you energy if you need it, right? Satisfy that sweet tooth. But honey's going to last a lot longer. It hasn't been processed. It has all of these like, vital, like antibacterial and antiviral, enzymes and things in it that are just so good for your body. And you can use it in lots of different ways. You get a burn, you put honey on there, if you're getting sick, take some honey, put it in your tea. You can bake with it, all the things, right? So, honey, actually, like when it interacts with moisture, water, even humidity, like on a burn, it actually part of it turns into like a peroxide and has that wound cleaning attribute. FYI, you probably know that. But yeah, honey's amazing, and honey will last forever. So anyway, thinking about what you have surrounded yourself with or what you're working towards. Don't get distracted with just stuff. Don't just get distracted with more is better. It is quality over quantity for sure. But then you know that you have a very healthy and vibrant foundation for whatever you're building, and how you want to enjoy your life. All right. So I need to head out to the shop because I have a reading in a little bit. And I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful. And I will see you all on the live on Wednesday, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Thank you. Bye-bye.